Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Julie and today you are joining me on another design hacks video. We are talking about 5 things that every home office needs. If you're currently carving out a small workspace in your home, or if you're lucky enough you have a dedicated home office, watch this video for all of my top designer tips on how to furnish the office with its most basic necessities. I started the Design Hack series to break down all of the key basic necessities that every room in your home needs. I've covered everything from bedrooms, dining rooms, living rooms, entries. Today we are talking about the home office or your work from home area. More and more of us are working from home nowadays, so I find it so important to get that workspace just right. I've been working from home for over 15 years now, so I consider myself an expert in the area. Not only do I work from home, but I do have a team that regularly cycles in and out of my home and home office. So I definitely know a thing or two about carving out a multifunctional space that works for you and your family. I'm breaking down this list by level of priority, so the number 1 item on my list that you absolutely must have in your work from home space is a comfortable chair. Now, what does a comfortable chair mean? The chair that you work from home in and most likely sit in for hours at a time should be comfortable, should be ergonomic, and should definitely be padded. The best types of ergonomic chairs support the body, promote good posture, and prevents discomfort. The chair should provide some sort of spinal support and should be in a natural position for you to rest your elbows on your desk or even work at your keyboard. Ergonomic chairs should also be highly adjustable, meaning they can adjust to suit any body type and provide that type of support. I typically like a padded seat and back. But for those of you who run warmer than cool, a mesh back seat can also provide ample support while allowing the back to ventilate. If you typically lean back in your chair or you take mini rests, look for an ergonomic chair that has a higher back, one that supports both your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Having a headrest is not absolutely necessary, especially when you like to lean back into your chair. Some of the key details to look out for are chairs with padded armrests, those on casters that make it easy to move about the room while you're still seated, combined with swivel functionality makes the perfect office chair in my book. Stay away from too sturdy chairs like all wood or all metal, or even those with no backs, i.e. a counter stool that you're makeshifting into a work from home office chair. If you want to be highly productive in the home office, make sure you source a highly functional ergonomic chair. Those of you who are familiar with the channel might have heard me talk about home office solutions in the past. I have a ton of home office videos on the channel now, so definitely check those out if you want a little bit more information on ergonomic chairs. I do have some favorites when it comes to ergonomic chairs, those that I've used in the past and those that I continually specify for my clients. I love Herman Miller and human scale chairs. I'll link some of my favorites in the description box below so that you're not shopping blindly. The second most important item on this list that you absolutely have to have in your home office or work from home workstation is a sizable work surface. What does a sizable work surface mean? A sizable work surface simply equates to the right size of desk or work surface according to your needs. Now, how do you know what size desk you need to specify? It's really easy to figure out. Follow along this quick exercise to know exactly the size desk you should get. Sit at your dining table and pull out everything you need for a day's work. That could be your laptop, that could be double monitors, that could be an additional keyboard, a mouse pad, a mouse. It could be a clipboard, it could be a tower of loose sheet papers, a stack of reference books. The idea is to lay out everything that you need right in front of you, take a tape measure out and measure the exact size that you need for all of your everyday work items. Don't forget any negative space you might need to set down a drink and your phone. Once you have that key measurement in hand, the length times the width, that is the minimum size work surface that you should be specifying if you're looking for a new desk. Some people only need 1 monitor and a simple keyboard to get their work done. Others need 3 monitors, 2 keyboards, a phone, a printer. The list can go on and on. The idea is for you to assess your basic office needs and look for a work surface that supports that primary function. My previous office desk was an IKEA desk and I loved it. It had a small L-shaped return for me to place additional folders, but on the main desk I also had 2 monitors. Some people only need a small laptop that doesn't even get plugged in, or they could be working from just their tablet. Understanding your basic needs and the daily functions of your work habits is essential to the functionality of your workspace. The third most important item on this list is storage. Storage is so essential in a home office because you need somewhere to file all your paperwork, you need somewhere for loose leaf items, you need somewhere to pretty much corral all of your office essentials without it looking cluttered and junky. My favorite types of storage solutions are, of course, built-in cabinetry. Built-in cabinetry just looks neat, it looks tidy, it looks custom, and of course it looks highly elevated. Built-in cabinetry takes advantage of all of the vertical height in the space so you can store all of your items from floor to ceiling. Think about a mix of closed cabinets and open shelving so that you could hide all the clutter while displaying all of the pretty pieces. If you find open shelving way too busy for your taste, think of an alternative to organize all of your items like in smaller bins and boxes that are identical. This will draw your eyes towards the more decorative pretty pieces. If you have a really beautiful view in the home office, think of low shelving that doesn't infringe on the view, or a row of cabinetry that's neatly tucked in behind you. Again, function is a priority here, so definitely think about your needs for the space and specify a storage solution that will accommodate your growing needs. The next item on this list is task lighting. Task lighting is especially important in a home office because you need a light that is dedicated to your work surface only. If you only work during the daytime, that's great. Your general overhead lighting might suffice. But if you know that you work into the wee hours of the night, you definitely need a small desk lamp, an angled wall sconce if your desk is against a wall, or even a floor lamp with multiple shades may suffice. You might not agree with the final item on my list, but to me, this is so essential in a work from home space, and to me, it's a non-negotiable. It is artwork or a killer view. If you have windows or glass doors in the space and you get this amazing view, then that's one less thing that you need to worry about. However, if you're in a smaller, cramped space without a whole lot of lighting, a view, or some additional light source, you need a calm, relaxing place for you to rest your eyes and get away from that monitor. That is what inspirational artwork is for. You could have a statement piece that echoes all your favorite colors. You can install a gallery wall full of your favorite portraits or landscape. Think about having that extra something in your office for you to get away from your desk and feel equally as inspired once you get back to work. Now let's talk about all of those little extras in your home office that might not be necessary but could be equally as functional and pretty. Let's talk about window treatments. If your office space is next to a window or a door, you absolutely need some functional window treatments. You can specify light filtering shades if privacy is not an issue. You can install sheer panels and layer with heavier drapery panels if you need to work through the night. Or you could leave your windows completely bare if you love to take in that view. Understand your needs in the home office to get that window treatment just right. Let's talk about desk placement do's and don'ts. Those of you who watch my channel regularly know that I love to float a desk in space. In feng shui, the command position of your desk should always be facing the entry door. The idea is that you always see who's coming in and out of your office. You're not surprised. You are in a command position. A command position does not mean that your desk is facing a wall, your back isn't turned towards the entry door, or worst of all, your desk is placed under a set of stairs. But we'll get into that in a whole nother video. Ideally, your desk should be floating in the space with clear view of the entry door. But what if your space is small or your desk is too large and you don't have the room to float the desk in space? A secondary command position in this space could also be beside the entry door. That means your desk is placed on the wall that shares the same wall as the entry. In this case, your desk is against the wall, you have ample space to do whatever else you need in this multifunctional room, and you have clear view of whoever's coming in and out. Let's talk about a multi-use space. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about if this is your condition. You might be working from your dining room, your living room, your bedroom. You might have carved a tiny little workstation right next to your kitchen. The same rules still apply. You need a comfortable chair, a sizable work surface, storage solutions, task lighting, and of course, artwork to brighten up the space or a fantastic view. If you're working from the dining room, consider a multifunctional sideboard or buffet that also hides all of your office supplies. If you're working from the living room, one of my favorite ways to place your desk is right behind the sofa. It's the best view in the room because you also get to watch the TV right from your desk. There's no right answer to where you should place your desk in a bedroom because size is everything. If you have the space for it, I love a desk in lieu of a nightstand. Think of a hotel suite. They always have a cute little writing desk that's right beside the bed. This makes for a very powerful visual statement that feels symmetrical and elegant. Which leads me to the final topic that we're going to discuss in today's video. It is cable cord management. A lot of you write in and tell me you have multiple monitors. You have all of these cables, all of these cords. How do you manage it if you're floating it in space? And the answer that I have for you is, unfortunately, you have to prioritize your needs. For me, those exposed cables were a necessary evil if I wanted to float my desk in space. The quick solution around this is for you to anchor one side of your desk, namely the smaller side of your desk, against the wall so that you could run all of your cables and your cords along the front of your desk and hide it on the side of that wall. We see all of these beautiful home office images online, and they have like a tiny little laptop or a small tablet or a monitor that's not even plugged in, and you're thinking, that is not my condition at all. What do I do? You have to prioritize what's more important to you. Is it more important for you to be in a command position with a desk floating in space, or is it more important for you to hide all of those cables? I wished I had an all-encompassing solution for you that really takes care of both, but sadly, that is not the case. My husband's home office used to be an absolute mess. He has 3 monitors, so many cables. He was so busy working from home on a day-to-day that he never even considered all of this cord management. He kind of just had like cords and cables lying around everywhere, and it was just a nightmare to see. Since then, he's corralled and organized all of his cables in a really intentional manner, and even though you still see them, they're not a huge eyesore. I'll link all of the items that he used in the description box below. That's it for today's design hacks video. What did you think of my list? Do you agree with my top 5 items? Are there any other necessities that you want to add to this list? Definitely check out the entire design hack series where I cover everything from entryways, bedrooms, living rooms, and dining rooms. I also have a few home office videos that dives deeper into the function and space planning of your work from home space, so definitely check that out in the home office playlist as well. If you like this type of video and you want more design hacks, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know if you have any questions when it comes to your home office or your work from home space. Share this video with anyone you know who's struggling to put their home office together, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop every single Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.